Short on time but want a healthy start? I've got 4 easy toast recipes made with real whole ingredients, ready in just 5 minutes. Perfect for busy mornings whether you're feeding yourself or a house full of kids. Good morning and welcome to Dinner TBD. I am so thrilled that you joined this video with me today because I'm making 4 really great breakfast recipes that I think you're gonna like. These can all be made within like 10 minutes time. You might have to do a little chopping, but if you wanna do your chopping the night before, you can do that so it can be quicker on a work day. But honestly, give yourself some time in the morning. Take that extra 10 minutes and make yourself something healthy and good. These are simple, quick, and fairly healthy because they have really good ingredients in them. So let's get going. Up first, we're making an extremely indulgent blackberry and almond butter toast with homemade cinnamon sauce. Okay, for all of these, you're gonna need a toast of your choice. In this case, I'm going with gluten-free bread. We're also gonna need 1 tablespoon of gluten-free all-purpose flour. Regular all-purpose will work too. A 1/4 cup of coconut sugar, really good almond butter with no sugar added, fresh blackberries, and about a teaspoon of ground cinnamon. You're also going to need 1/4 cup of water and 1 tablespoon of butter. First, we're going to go ahead and drop our toast. We're going to toast this on about level 3, just kind of want like a medium crunch, but you can make it however you like it. I like mine just a little bit toasty, but also a little soft. All right, while we're waiting on the butter to melt, we are going to add the tablespoon of flour to the 1/4 cup of warm water. Whisk that up a bit and set it aside. Then we're going to add the 1/4 cup of coconut sugar and the teaspoon of cinnamon. We're going to stir that up, let it kind of incorporate and get warm. And then we're going to add back in the flour water to kind of thicken things up. So you want to bring this to like a slight simmer, not quite a boil, but just get it warm enough that you start to see it thicken a little bit. And once it thickens, we're done. Now, while you're waiting on your sauce to thicken up, you can go ahead and toast your bread. And we're going to go ahead and spread on as much or as little almond butter as you want. Don't forget to check your sauce. You might want to turn off the heat at this point. And then we're just going to pour it in a glass jar or something that has a smaller spout so we don't spill it everywhere as we're trying to pour it over our toast. Then we're just going to line up our fresh little blackberries. Get as many on there as you possibly can fit, because that's the good stuff right there. Then give your sauce one more little whisk just to make sure it's all smooth and delicious looking. And then we're just going to drizzle it right over the top. And there we go. It's done and beautiful. Oh my gosh, you guys, if this isn't the most like cinnamony, berry delicious, indulgent breakfast. I'm not gonna say this is good for you, but I'm not gonna say it's bad either. It's butter and cinnamon. It seriously does not get any better. Like, to me, for someone who can't eat like a ton of gluten all the time, this kind of replaces the satisfaction of a cinnamon roll. Oh, dare I say it? Yes, I do, because you've got like the almond butter that's so rich and heavy anyway. And then I'm still getting, the feeling of bread, even though it's like gluten-free. This is actually a pretty good brand. Like the toast is good. It's not a bland flavored toast. And then the juicy berries, but that cinnamon sauce, it just makes it. It's so good. And those berries just like burst. So I came up with this breakfast recipe on my own because I will eat almond butter on toast with a berry a lot, actually. It's good for you. And that's what makes me feel good about this breakfast is like, you're getting the protein from the almond butter with no sugar added. So get almond butter with no sugar if you're trying to avoid that. And then also, the coconut sugar in the cinnamon sauce is a little lower glycemic, so that makes me feel better about it. So yes, I'm getting carbs still and a little bit of sugar, but maybe it's not spiking that glucose level tremendously high as a cinnamon roll, melty, gooey, buttery cinnamon roll would. Another thing that might be important to know is that amount of cinnamon sauce will feed, you know, several on a Saturday morning breakfast, 4 people maybe. But since it's just me this morning, I need to save mine. So I will refrigerate this because it's butter and it might harden a little, but I can just reheat it in the morning. It'll be fine if I want to have it again tomorrow. So just note to self, if you want to half it, you can, if it's just you and your husband, or you can just save the rest for tomorrow. Next up, we are making rainbow toast. Now this is one of my favorite breakfasts. It's so colorful and so flavorful. It is inspired by a breakfast toast that was made similarly at a restaurant called First Watch. Now, I don't know if it's any longer on their menu, but this is something I had at their restaurant years ago, and I've remembered it ever since, and I make it at home all the time now. Okay, for this one, we're also going to need bread for the toast, of course. We're going to need whole ricotta cheese, about a half cup of raspberries, blueberries, blackberries, and chopped fresh mango. And then you're going to need just a little sprinkle, maybe a 1/4 cup or so of your favorite granola, and some honey to drizzle over top. Again, we're going to toast the bread just like we did in the first one on about level 3 or 4. Okay, so this is actually really easy. What we're going to do is spread on the ricotta cheese, as much or as little as you like. Now on a hungrier morning, I will eat both slices, so up to you if you want to eat 1 or 2. Now if you're thinking, I don't know about the ricotta cheese with breakfast, you know, on toast with fruit, does that sound like it goes together? Actually, it really does. Ricotta is a pretty mild cheese that tastes a little bit like mozzarella. So if you've never tried it, give it a try. You might actually like it. I was actually surprised by this and how much I liked it at first. So if you're skeptical, maybe just try it once and see how it goes. So now what you want to do is assemble the fruit in rows according to like colors of the rainbow, of course. I mean, you can assemble it however you want, but of course I'm going to go with something that's redder and then maybe yellows into the greens or blues or purples. You can use whatever fruit you like, but I'll tell you in a little bit why I choose berries most of the time. And then now that we've got all of our fruit assembled, let's get to the granola and the honey. So I've chopped up my granola a little bit because mine was a little bit too chunky for my liking. And we're basically just gonna lightly sprinkle it on top. I mean, put as much as you want on there, but I like to see the colors of the fruit underneath and all the layers of everything that's happening here. So I'm just gonna go with a little bit. And then basically you're gonna take your honey and give it a good drizzle. The honey is the best part in my opinion. If you're trying to go low sugar, you know, maybe don't add as much, but it really does kind of top it off and make it extra delicious. All right, rainbow toast. Y'all ready for this? It can be messy, so you might need a fork, but here we go. Like I said, this is the copycat version of what I remember their rainbow toast being like on their menu. The ricotta, the fruit, and all the colors, any granola that you like. Of course, you can get any granola. Mine specifically is like no sugar at all because this is made by a local, but it's almonds, pecans, pistachios, walnuts, dates, raisins, coconut flakes, pumpkin, and sunflower seeds. Little bit of olive oil, cinnamon, and salt. It's really good and it's not very sugary. But anyway, this is one of my favorite breakfasts, and I will really only make it in the spring and summer when all these fresh berries are like in season. It's delicious, and you're definitely gonna wanna put this on your breakfast menu. Another really great tip about making this rainbow toast is you can use whatever fruit you like. You can use strawberry, kiwi, make it as colorful as you want. And while that sounds fun, I find that the easiest, most simplistic, low maintenance way to do it is use berries. Now the mangoes I did have to chop. If you choose something like strawberries and kiwi, then you're dicing all of that fruit. So with berries, they're already little and ready to go. So that's why I prefer the berries. And I love berries, and they're good for you. Up next is a very simple chocolate hazelnut strawberry chia toast. Now we're making this with no sugar added chocolate chips, about 1.5 cups of roasted hazelnuts chopped, a little bit of vanilla extract, a little bit of salt. You're gonna need some chia seeds, and of course, don't forget the sliced strawberries. And toast to put it on, of course. Okay, this one is so simple. All we're gonna do first is add our 1.5 cups of roasted hazelnuts to the food processor. We're gonna give it a couple pulses just to get it going. And then we're really going to get after it and turn it on and let it do its thing. Now, as it blends, you're going to see it getting thicker. Just takes a few seconds. It's going to turn into what looks like, an almond butter or a peanut butter, except it's hazelnut butter. Now, I like mine a little bit thick. I like to have a little bit of bite of hazelnut in it, so I'm not going to make it extremely creamy. I'm just going to let it turn into like a thick, sandy consistency. Then we need to make the chocolate. This is the best part. This is so satisfying. So we're going to start with about medium-high heat, and we're going to add 3/4 cups of the chocolate chips. Quarter, half, 3/4. In a few minutes, we're going to want to turn this down to lower heat, but just to get it going, I needed to turn it up a little higher. We're going to add our 1/4 teaspoon of salt and the vanilla, and basically just stir it up until it gets smooth, and then take it off the heat, and we're ready to put it in the food processor. Add your melted chocolate to the hazelnut mixture, and you're going to want to pulse it a few times, maybe turn it on and let it do its thing for a minute. And then you might want to check it. You might have to open up the lid, get in there with a spatula and scrape up the things that are at the bottom, not quite getting mixed in yet. And then basically just put the lid back on, let it do its thing till it looks smooth and creamy. And believe me, once you take off that lid, you're going to want to put a spoon right in that and take a bite. And then I like to put mine in a pretty little ball jar with a wooden lid. I don't know what it is about these ball jars, but they're my absolute favorite. They're just cute, and they're pretty, and they look pretty on the counter. And that's right where you can leave this hazelnut butter. Believe me, this little bit is not going to last you but a day and a half. If your kids come by, it's going to be gone in seconds. Basically, we're just going to spoon it in the jar, but not without a taste first. And heck yeah, turned out great. It's pretty dang good. To assemble, all you're going to do is toast your bread, spread on your hazelnut spread on both slices. In this case, if you're feeling like you need a little chocolate, you're going to want both slices. And then we're going to lay out our strawberries as pretty as they can be, sprinkle it with a little chia, and voila, your toast is ready. The strawberry Nutella toast taste test. Wow, that's a tongue twister. Okay, so I'm really impressed with the homemade version. It's really good. I'm not gonna lie, it is not as sugary, which is a bonus. It's good for you that it's not extra sugary and full of palm oils and hydrogenated oils and all those things that aren't good for us, right? This is really good. I personally would like a thinner toast, or I might put this on sliced apples. The toast is fine, it's gluten-free. This is a kind I buy all the time, but I just want more strawberry and Nutella this morning. The chia seeds are crunchy, and they might get in your teeth. So I'm gonna stop talking now and let you know that this is a good choice for breakfast. Okay, thank you for letting me get the chia seeds out of my teeth. Now that I'm back, let's transition into recipe number 4, which does not have toast and is still very good for you. Last up, we're making these super quick sliced apples with almond butter, granola, cinnamon, and pecans. So quick and easy. Who doesn't love apples and peanut butter? But this time we're taking it up just a slight notch with a couple extra toppings. So in this one, you're going to need an apple, whatever kind you like, almond butter, again, whatever kind you like, but I like no sugar added. And then go with a soft granola. Your favorite kind is going to be what you're going to like. Now, these are gluten-free bites, one of my favorite brands, and honestly, all it takes to make this breakfast is 1 or 2 of these blocks of oatmeal chocolate chip bites. Then you're going to need some cinnamon and this really handy dandy apple corer and peeler. It does both at once. It's awesome. It's one of my favorite tools. I've used it for years. If you can get your hands on one of these, Amazon sells them. They're so easy. If you've never seen one of these before, you're basically going to suction it down to your countertop so it doesn't move. You're going to press down on the little silver lever and pull back on the actual corer piece. And the center of the apple is going to go through the hole there. So if you forget to take off the stem like me, that's okay. But basically just put it on the end and twist away and watch it do its magic. I just love peeling these off because they come off in like a little bit of a spiral. My kids used to think I was so awesome when they were little and I would make these. They'd be like, we want apple spirals. They thought they were so cool. You know, see how if you're just careful with them, see how they make these cute little spirals? They're almost like little slinkies, except you're not going to throw these down the stairs, of course. If you want it to stay in a spiral though, you got to be real careful with it. Otherwise, just break them apart, put them on the plate. We're gonna spread peanut butter all over them. They're gonna be great. So this part takes the longest. It's kind of like icing a cookie. You know, you're just putting the almond butter on the apple, and of course the acidity of the apple kind of makes it a little bit slippery and hard to get on there, but just takes a few minutes. We'll get it done. Then you're gonna take your little granola bar. Whether you want it crunchy, that's fine. I just prefer a soft granola bar, and I'm just gonna crumble it up and let it stick to the almond butter. And then the crunchy part for me is gonna be pecans. First, we're gonna sprinkle on some cinnamon because I love cinnamon. And then give it a little crunch with some chopped pecans if you like. These have some really good fall flavors. It's a great breakfast on a cool fall morning. Okay, let's see how they turned out. I'm gonna have this little chunkier 3-layer swirly one. When you're in the mood for something fallish, this one kind of hits those notes. But just simple apple and almond butter. And that almond butter is no sugar added. So it's simply almonds. So it is not sweet. If your kids need a little sugar, get them the almond butter with a little sugar. It's better for you than peanut butter, to my knowledge, or at least the peanut butters that are made with all the hydrogenated oils. But really good. You can do this with peanut butter if you want. Any nut butter of your choice. Even that hazelnut chocolate spread with the same, you know, like whatever your favorite soft, crumbly granola bite might be. So it's a healthy and quick way to put something on the table very quickly, which was the whole point of this video. I hope all of these recipes are recipes that you thought look delicious and that you might want to try. And if so, you can check my website and print them there. I might have to mention to you that currently on my YouTube channel, I'm having trouble enabling certain advanced features, which is adding a clickable link in my descriptions. So YouTube keeps shutting that off for me, and I don't know why. I keep having to submit information for it to give me back that feature. And then a month later, it just keeps taking it away. So, I mean, feel free to comment below if you know the answer to that, but believe me, I've Googled it, YouTubed it. It can be very difficult to figure out. Currently, if you're having trouble clicking my links, that's okay. You can try to copy paste it and just put it in your browser, or just visit dinnertbd.com. It's gonna be there. That's it for today's video. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please like, please comment. Tell me if you have any quickie recipes that you love that are just a couple ingredients. I'd love to hear feedback from you. Let me know if any of these are any you haven't heard of before. I'm sure apples and peanut butter, anybody can do that, right? But maybe you just needed a new breakfast idea, and that's okay. So tell me which one below you would want to try first. Commenting, a quick comment will help my videos get pushed in the algorithm. If you find any value in this, thank you. That could help me out in getting the channel moving along. We need to move the needle a little bit, but we're getting there. Thank you for tuning in. See you on the next one.